Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we are going to give you the opportunity to help people who don't have enough food right here in our neighborhood. My guest is Karen Joyner from Virginia Peninsula Foodbank. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I think this is a tough time for people right now. I mean, there was extra aid during the pandemic and that is gone, and families are hurting.
Yeah, absolutely. We and our partner agencies of the food bank have seen a 30 to 35% increase quarter over quarter this year versus last year. Like you said, all of those special food programs went away, especially the extra SNAP benefits. And we've really seen how that has affected the families that we serve, in addition to inflation.
Oh, right.
Inflation's impacting everybody.
Yeah. And I tend to think of families and young children, but really our seniors on a fixed income and a lot of other people are being hit pretty hard, right?
Absolutely. About 25% of who we serve are seniors, and then of course the children. About another 33% are children in households that can't afford the food.
Yeah, that's tough. Wow. And you said before we started that you guys have had to buy food because the donations have run out.
Yeah, in the past we really haven't bought much food. Except for produce. We've always wanted to keep up our we wanted to keep up the nutritional value of the food that we distribute, and we don't always get a lot of produce, so we've always bought a lot of produce, but now we're buying a full truckload of produce every single week, and in addition to that we're buying a lot of can and shelf stable items because we just don't have the donations that we used to have.
And we are looking, we're fast approaching the holiday season, and, people, it's going to get cold. I mean, people will be spending money on fuel and have less for houses. I mean, for food, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
What do you foresee in the future?
Well, let me just say, I don't think it can get much worse than it's been the last 6 months. In a normal year, our agency shopping area, the part of our warehouse where our partner agencies come and pick up food and then take it back to their food pantries to distribute, in a normal year, about 2 months of the year, it's pretty bare on our shopping floor, but it has been bare for about 6 months, and I've never seen it like that, and I've been in food banking almost 20 years.
Oh, wow. So
just to have some food coming in, which we're anticipating starting in the next few weeks. We hope that it's a lot more than in the past and that it can last us a little bit longer so that we can temporarily close our pocketbooks to purchasing the food other than the produce. We hope that will sustain us through January anyway.
Well, and the federal government has been a little bit uncertain about funding its budget, and there's another looming deadline coming. What happens here when there's a shutdown or a partial shutdown?
Well, as we saw in 2018, 2019, when the government shut down for something like 35 days, the partial shutdown affected a lot of federal employees, and particularly on the Peninsula, we actually have more federal employees than people would suspect because of the presence of NASA here.
Yeah.
So back in January 2019, we did special distributions for the Coast Guard because they're part of Homeland Security and not the Department of Defense. We took food to the airport for the TSA workers, and then we opened the food bank on a Saturday for a special distribution for our NASA friends. And it doesn't just affect those individuals or those employees. When you think about it, NASA is such a huge presence here in Hampton in particular, that it affects the people who run the restaurants and the bars and the little shops outside the gates of NASA and just in that general area. So it's not just the federal employees that are affected.
And some of the people you think are federal employees aren't. The government has been contracting out more services, and when NASA or Langley shuts down, those contractors don't get paid, and they don't get retro pay either. So it can be, a really tough cycle.
Yes, and that's where the food bank comes into play. First thing people need is food. They need the basic needs, and you have to pay your rent. You have to put gas in your car. You have to do all those things, but we know that there's some place that they can go to get food if they need it. So we're going to be there if we do have a shutdown after November 17th. We've already been in contact with people at NASA, TSA, and the Coast Guard. We had planned something just in case back in October, but we kind of dodged a bullet there, and they managed to come to an agreement temporarily anyway. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed that November 17th, they're going to
actually do it and not just punt it for another few weeks.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, what can we do? Obviously, I think people just forget how many people there are out there, how many families that need help. So you guys have a special event coming up. Let's talk about that.
Sure. Coincidentally, our the 27th annual Mayflower Marathon Food and Fun Drive, which is sponsored by FM 99 and 106.9, the Fox radio stations, is coming up on November 17th, 18th, and 19th, the weekend before Thanksgiving. It is held in the parking lot of our big Kroger on Mercury Boulevard.
Yeah, that's a lot of space.
And also the Kroger in Tab on Victory Boulevard, and it's an opportunity for individuals to just drive through and hand over money or canned goods or turkeys. So we're collecting those 3 days from 5:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
At the big Kroger, and then at the Kroger and Tab, it's 7 to 7 each day until Sunday, then it's 7 to 3. So this is our biggest food and fun drive of the year, and we really count on this to get us through Thanksgiving, December, and hopefully well into January.
Now, a lot of people sort of go through and clean out their pantry at this time of year anyway. So, but other people really want to purchase supplies. What is it you most need, or is it really everything?
Well, right now we need everything because we, with the 30 to 35% increase in need year over year, when our partner agencies come in to get food at the food bank, they're taking it all. So at the end of every day, the shopping floor is empty.
Oh my gosh.
So we need everything, but we have a list of most wanted items, and those include peanut butter, because everybody loves peanut butter.
And
it's a good source of
nutritious. Kids will eat
protein.
it, yeah.
Absolutely. Canned soups, canned vegetables. We would like low sodium options, but we'll take everything.
Right.
Canned fruit, pasta sauce. We're asking for jelly. It's not so nutritious, but when you get peanut butter, everybody says, well, where's the jelly? So we're asking for jelly. I said canned fruit, but those types of things, breakfast bars, oatmeal, anything shelf stable is great for the people that we serve.
And preferably nutritious, but we have to remember that all of us need a birthday cake now and then, or all of us need, a little treat, and especially around the holidays, that's not a bad thing. I know we've got to fill up on the needs before we hit the wants, but there's a lot of different things that different people might need.
Yeah, we like to say in food banking, every food has a purpose. And at Virginia Peninsula Foodbank, we rank the food that we distribute based on green, yellow, and red. So the green foods are the foods that are most healthy, and they are what we call choose often foods. Yellow foods are little bit less healthy, but they're still good for you, and they're the choose occasionally foods. And then the red foods, we don't say you can't have them.
Right,
but
because none of us would listen to that, let's be honest.
They're choose rarely foods. So that's how we keep track of the nutritional value of the foods that we serve. And so far, for the first 3 months of the year, 83% of all the food that we've distributed has been green. And we have an effort when we're buying all this food to buy green foods that have low sodium, low sugar. If it's fruit, they're in their own juice and not in heavy syrup.
Right.
And those are the type of things
I made
that
my kids do that. I taught them to read the labels on breakfast cereal, and they could only get one with less than X grams of sugar.
That's fabulous. That's fantastic.
They hate me to this day, but
that's what our product sourcing manager does before she makes a purchase. She looks at the nutritional label.
You want our kids to be healthy, whether they're actually my kids or whether they're my community kids.
Right. If we're spending money on it, there's no sense in spending money on bad things. Sometimes, unfortunately, we get a lot of bad things from some places in the community, and so we need to offset that with good things.
Right. So it's a really good time. The holidays are coming up. You're going to be buying more food. It's time to clean out the pantry and find what you purchased that you're not using that's is not in date.
Exactly.
We don't want to send people expired foods either. That's not healthy at all. And also, pick up an extra, when you're buying for Thanksgiving, pick up an extra can or two. That's going to be really helpful. But of course, you want it. Those 3 days are key, right?
Well, just for this event, there's no
That's
bad.
easy, right?
Yeah.
We're all out in Coliseum Central shopping,
Yeah, you
driving
can't miss
past.
it. We'll have tents up there. We'll have the radio station DJs there. On Friday morning, we will have the Hampton Road Show from Wavy TV 10.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a big event, especially on Friday morning, but we want people to come throughout that time because we don't want to be standing there without people bringing us things.
When the need is so huge.
Yes.
Right here. I mean, that's what I keep telling people. Right here in our community, let's help our neighbors first.
Right, absolutely.
Not that I don't love the outside world, but but let's take care of ourselves.
Right. We get a lot of people who they just want to donate to us because they know that their donations stay right here. And we're responsible for taking care of 9 cities and counties. Anybody who needs a food assistance, we help them find out where they can get it, whether it's one of our mobile food pantries where we take truckloads out into parking lots and distribute them like we just did yesterday at the Hampton Coliseum. We do that every month. But we have mobile food pantries that go out in different cities and counties every single month. And then we also take them to low-income senior residential facilities that people don't know about because we don't advertise it, but these are people living on a fixed income, and so we're providing food for them, and we deliver it right to their doors. And then we have a network of 145 partner agencies.
Yeah, and they all help.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people like the physical act of giving. They want to hand over goods, and that's a wonderful thing. But if you're busy, if you're not coming by Mercury Boulevard, a check can kind of go farther because you can buy a can of fruit cheaper than I can. Right.
And actually, for $1, we can still distribute the equivalent of 3 meals. We do the calculation of all of our expenses and how much we distributed, and we calculate how much it's costing us. And a couple of years ago, we could distribute 4 meals for $1, but with inflation and having to buy more food and everything, now it's 3 meals for $1. So it goes far. It goes very far.
How could we get you that donation if we don't happen to be at your Mayflower event?
Well, you can go onto our website, which is hrfoodbank.org, and press the Donate Now button. It's very prominent, believe me.
Yep.
Or you can mail in a check or money order to 2401 Aluminum Avenue in Hampton, or go to the website and get all this information.
Right.
Or you can drop off food at one of our many drop-off sites, which are listed on our website.
Oh, that's helpful. I didn't know that.
We have some year-round collection sites, and I'm not prepared to tell you what they are, but they're on our
That's
website.
fine.
I believe Old Point National Bank and
people can
places
look.
like that. So if you can't make it all the way to where we're located in Hampton, just look on our website, and it'll tell you where our year-round drop-off locations are. And when our boxes there get full, they just contact us and we send a truck and pick it up and bring it back.
That's wonderful. Well, is there anything you want to add that I haven't asked you, Karen?
Well, just that, there was a report that was just released yesterday that said how dire the situation is. We all in Foodbank know that there's a huge increase, but the numbers and the statistics just came out yesterday saying that nationwide there's been an increase of like 10 million people who are food insecure. And I don't have the local figures yet, but we felt that. And as soon as we have those figures, we'll be letting people know that we're not just making this up. This is real. These are your neighbors, your friends that just can't make ends meet. They're mostly working, but they just can't. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they can't afford all the higher cost items with their rent and gas for their cars and all of that. Everything's gone up in the past year, and there's very few programs left that are actually taking care of people like during COVID.
I literally looked at the statistics, and during COVID, we had many fewer people in poverty. I was just running the numbers, and it went down, and I'm like, what happened here? And then I realized what it was. That aid pulled people above that line, and now, it's gone. So we have to make up the difference.
Yeah, unfortunately. We got those numbers last year, and I said, those aren't right. And then stepped back and said for the same reasons, well, that's because we had so many special food programs.
And programs, rent programs.
Rent
all
programs,
those kind of
the
things.
anti-eviction programs, all of those things. And now we're back to square one. We're back to pre-COVID situations, but
maybe even worse.
Things cost about 25% more than they did 3-4 years ago.
And wages didn't go up, especially at that lower scale, did not go up 25%.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and reminding us about the need.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope to see everybody at the Mayflower Marathon on November 17th, 18th, 19th. Just drive through and hand your food or money over.
Okay, that sounds great. And please do realize the need now is desperate. A lot of us think about people who need food right around the holidays, but the need really goes on all year. So hit the Mayflower Marathon and then keep giving, especially January, February, where those donations start to run out. Remember, kids are home at Christmas time. They're out of school. They're going to need your help, and so do our seniors. Thanks for watching.